and and obviously metaverse is something that's quite exciting, right? It's the newer world. There's all these millennials and the way they think and the way they react and interact, and you see. Interestingly, if you look at, and I'll share some slides, the top 100 companies of the world right now didn't exist like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So look at the amount of change, right? The amount of thought process that's currently going into the market, and how we are interacting, how we are behaving. In the last 2 years, it has changed. COVID has had drastic impact the way we interact, the way we live, the way we talk to each other. We can still be in a closed area. Everyone wears a mask no longer. It's something that, hey, why are you doing this? So I think it's important to understand how as humans we are evolving and at what pace we can evolve, right? And some of that evolution is not something that humans knew before. So somebody didn't know that WhatsApp would become a word in English, right? Can you WhatsApp it to me? It's English. No longer it's an app, right? It's like surf and it's like Colgate, right? So it's important to understand how things have moved on, and this journey towards, I call it phygital, which is a combination of physical and digital. It's just growing and growing and growing. It started in as a creative aspects in the movies, and now it's getting real. It's there, right? If you remember, and please, by all means, interject. Ask a question, have a comment, right? For all of you. But if you look at Matrix, very, very forward-looking, forward-thinking, philosophical movie. It was an action flick, but it had a lot of deep understanding, right? And that's what's happening, right? So let's get on to the conversation for today. And then, as I said, right, would love to have an interaction. Let me just share my screen. Okay, I can't share. You'll have to make me participant, whichever is the host.
Yes, yes, sir, you can share now.
Okay. I'm just share this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So before I kind of go ahead, I'm going to just minimize this. So, and I'll just talk if you have anything. So, maybe somebody can share what do they think of metaverse. Why is it not universe? Why is it not single verse? Why is it not double verse? Why is it metaverse?
Sir, it's all about virtual reality connecting to the world with the help of computer or any other instrument.
Okay. Anyone else? No? Okay. Again, we'll run through, right? So basically what we'll do today, right? I think there are different lenses that we're going to look at. I think there's something wrong with this, right? Why I can't hide all this? I'm gonna miss stuff. Oh. Wait, I'm just gonna get something. Maybe it will go in a few seconds. So basically what we'll do is we'll look at different lenses, right? There's a lot of things that we can look at. So what is metaverse really? And more importantly, why? Why do we need this metaverse? And obviously who's building it, network effects, business models, so on and so forth. But what value is flowing through? We're not going to look at everything today. It's a huge topic, right? So what we'll do is today, we'll focus on the first two very, very important elements. Okay, what really is the metaverse, and why do we need it? How does it kind of plan and play within our lives right now, right? And it's an important aspect to understand how it came into being. What started this conversation, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, there's I need to take this out somehow. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can
I guess
minimize.
we can see your screen completely.
Can you see
Is
the
it-
entire screen?
We can see that. Yes, yes.
Can you also screen mute, stop video, all that also?
No, no, we are not seeing that. It is only on your screen.
Okay, all right. So then we are good because
Yes.
okay. So basically, internet is a very loose term, right? Maybe somebody can tell me what is internet. It's very interesting to see your thoughts. Then only we can say, right? Metaverse is the next generation of internet. What is internet? Anyone?
Sir, it's all about networking with the sites to get the information what is happening around the world.
Mm-hmm. Who owns the internet?
So user, every user needs an internet.
Yeah, but who owns it? The user needs it, but who is the owner of internet?
No one, sir.
No one is the owner of internet. So you have something that everyone uses, but no one owns. Is that what you're telling me?
Sir, it is there for everyone. Anyone
Correct.
can use internet.
Correct.
Like
But no one
from the
owns
kid
it.
to old age.
Yeah, but no one owns it, right? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Who owns internet? Okay. You're right, right? No one owns it. It's a collection of, it's a community, right? Everyone gives a piece of, of its work, right? For everyone else to use. Very interesting, isn't it? That you have such an important aspect where we are currently having our lives, spending a lot of time there, right? We are learning, we are doing this, we're talking to each other, we found friends which we had lost, connection with, right? And obviously, you guys are still young to appreciate that. You go and you know about stuff that you didn't find it so easy, right? Some of your own life journeys are now becoming more visual, right? You're putting on Insta, you're putting on Discord, you're talking to friends and so on and so forth, right? So it's a very interconnected mechanism of communication and sharing, right? Now, metaverse is nothing but the next generation of it. So while we started typing, right? On a laptop when we started with internet, then when we went to a mobile, right? And we said, oh, great, mobile is there, I can carry it everywhere. Actually, we went from desktop to laptops first and then to mobile, right? Some of the countries actually skipped the whole internet and they directly went to mobile, right? And started typing. They said, oh, typing is so boring, right? So let me start talking. So we started, putting voice recording. And I said, okay, this is also getting boring. We took it to the next level, right? Where we said we'll put a video. So I will send a video, people will look at it, they will like it, they'll subscribe it, whether it's Insta or there's many such tools. So basically, metaverse is the next generation, right? It's interconnected, it's available for use, but you decide as a user where you want to go, right? Somebody likes WhatsApp, somebody likes Facebook, somebody likes Discord, somebody likes Clubhouse. The social is very different. It's very different for different countries also, right? Some countries have, in WeChat is more popular and so on and so forth. Maybe it's because of restrictions. So this is about, still having a physical, person typing it off or, taking a picture, creating, and then kind of getting connected. Metaverse is the other level. See, it allows creators, so very important words here, immersive experience. Yeah. Very much into virtual realities. It's not just sending data or sending information. It's about being part of it. It's embedded. It's not that I have to take a picture and then upload. The picture itself is connected inside. It's all about, telling stories, different kind of stories, and collaborate and learn and train and do everything, right? It's activities driven, right? You have to do something to kind of move into the metaverse, right? You have to do an activity. And that's the kind of connection you have, because, you don't sit and do nothing and it happens, right? I mean, you can watch a video, but that is not activity, right? That's, just sitting there and then watching it. But it could be an activity. You could be part of the story that you're looking at. So think about if you're watching, Harry Potter, right? And there is a story going on, and you could be part of that story. Would that intuitive, more exciting, connected than just looking at it from a movie perspective? So that's what it is, right? So it allows, so 3-4 things. It is enabling creators. So they, it is the creativity is subject to the level of your creativity. There is no dearth or restriction that metaverse puts on you in terms of your own creativity. So it allows creators to deliver immersive experience. Connected is by definition, right? We already were connected in internet, but now this is more immersive experience and activity driven. Very important. It was all about activities. So what it has, right? So it has emphasis on activities in immersive places in which the self is present. Very important, right? It's not that I've logged in and then, I see myself as, Vishal 123. No, I am there as I am, right? It's self which is present. And it is by, amazing number of creators. There's so many people, hundreds and thousands of people who are contributing to creation, and whether it's of content, whether it's of work, and embedded immersive content. As I said, right, it is linked, so you can take a flight, and actually it feels like you're taking a flight, and then you let's say land in Egypt. You can actually see the pyramid. It's a direct replica of the pyramid, right? You can actually stop, point at a place, and they'll tell you about sand, or and there are many such use cases we'll talk about. But importantly, right, these 4 things you must remember. It is activity driven. It is not just an ID. It's yourself which is there, which is driven by so many creators, and it is immersive in nature. It is embedded immersive in nature. Very important to understand that. There are 7 layers. If you look at metaverse, there are 7 layers of metaverse. One of the Beamable CEO actually gave this picture. Very, very interesting. It is an enabler, right? So it has been enabled by multiple layers. It has been enabled by multiple layers of things. And obviously, if I said that metaverse was available 20 years ago, people were not ready, right? We say that, right? Sometimes that this was way ahead of time. So the concept was way ahead of time. The technology wasn't there. The society wasn't there. People weren't, ready for it. But if you look at it from inside out, so infrastructure is improving, right? Imagine having in 90s connected to a wired telephone wire internet and trying to watch a movie on Netflix, right? I mean, by the time you start watching the movie on your birthday, the next birthday would have come, So, that has helped, which means the whole concept and the whole, boom around the whole 3G, then 4G, now 5G, 6G, cloud, nano computing, fiber optics. So these are very core enablers, right? Core infrastructure is enabled through this. And then you have, the boom of all these smart glasses, smart wearables, gestures, haptic gestures, voices, neural network. The languages are getting, amazing. The intelligence is getting enabled, right? And obviously decentralization. Decentralization is a very, very interesting topic. In the technology world, it is one of the most talked about topic today. In the finance world, in which I work right now, it's called DeFi, which is decentralized finance. So centralization is not necessarily something which which is working. So if you look at blockchain, you look at microservices, at computing, artificial intelligence, a lot of decentralization. Now, you just start adding all of this, right? You have great infrastructure. You got all this gesture and smart tech available around smart glasses. It's completely distributed and decentralized. On top of it, you put virtual reality, right? So suddenly, if you put all these 4 or 5 things together, you can do so much. Now the near models start to kick in, right? Because you have so much to do, right? I mean, there's so many things you can do, and it is constrained by your creativity. It is not constrained by anything else. You have all the tools you need. So then you start creating newer mechanisms of economy, newer mechanisms of commerce, transactions, assets, and so on and so forth, right? And then when you do that, you need mechanisms of discovery, right? How you discover it, how you curate it, how you rate it, what stores are we talking about? You know, it's not just an app store anymore. And then all of that combines together to give you experiences. Because as humans, right, it's all about experiences. The more immersive, tied in part of the story, right? You want to see a movie and you want to be the hero, right? Everyone wants to be a Keanu Reeves, isn't it? Or Morpheus, right? Depending on what your taste is. But that is the kind of experience you want. You see it, but you don't get to feel it. Now with all of this, you actually get to feel it, and you get to live different lives in different areas. You can be in a game, and you can be the sniper, and you can be a F-16 fighter pilot, and so on and so forth, right? So think about it, right? What all you can be. The amount of opportunities is unlimited for you, both as a user as well as a creator of some of these things. A lot of you guys are into design, right? You would understand the haptics, the gestures, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, I'm gonna continue. Just let me know if you have a question. I hope I'm not going too fast. All right. So, companies who are doing it, how does it look like? Huh? I couldn't get all of it. There's like a few hundred still missing. But everywhere, all of this is getting enabled by loads of companies who are driving it, right? I can pick one or two. The economy model, the Beamable I talked about, the CEO Beamable, did the entire setup. Shopify, you can talk about. Has anyone heard of Facebook? Just kidding. Minecraft, you got Twitter, you got Spatial, YouTube, Clubhouse. We're already using Zoom, right, to connect with each other. Then you have this, the Xboxes, the occult, and it's all over the place. You start from left to right. They're like, and this, what it's trying to tell you is that in any one of this, you can make a mark for yourself. You can pick the area, drive your creativity, find the right experience you're after, and then start building it out, right? Okay, so let's just maybe spend some time on one or two areas which are really important, and then we'll see how it kind of pans out, right? So experience, we'll talk about it. So has anyone heard of third places? Right, so Rebecca White said, right, if your home is your first place, right, which is where you belong, where you spend your time, and second is your workplace, in your case, your study place, right, wherever you are, your hostel, your college. But third place is where you relax in public, right? In current world, it could be the Facebook, it could be, the Insta or the Snapchat or whatever specific social media you are in. But that's your third place, right? Where you go there, you are in public domain, yet you are with your own friends, people who you are familiar with, right? They are your friends. You talk to them, you message them, WhatsApp, right? But if you take it to the next level, that you don't, they actually see you as you are, a virtual impression of your, or I call it the digital self, but it's basically a virtual impression of who you are or who you want to be. I want to have a pointed hair, and I want to have, a slightly dark skin on certain occasions. I want to have blue eyes. Yeah. So Rec Room, for example, actually provides you with that experience. You can go there and actually see. If I were wearing a occult glasses and some of the wearables, then actually I can feel that I'm there, and I can talk to my friends there. You can actually order, let's say, a beer. Obviously, you can't drink it. You still have to drink the water next to you, but it feels right. It's not about what you are going to eat or drink. It's about who you are with. What can you talk? How does it feel, right? So third places is it's an experience thing. Games, right? We talked about games, right? It's amazing, right? You can do loads of games. Whether it's Need for Speed. You can there are many car racing games and fight games. I think one of the most famous one nowadays is the PUBG, which a lot of people play. But add to it the immersive experience now, right? Currently, you are playing it on a gadget, on a 2D gadget, right? You actually see the gun and you can change the gun. You work together as a team for people sometimes with people you don't know. But if you add the immersive experience to it, then you are actually feeling as if you're in the battlefield, right? You could be doing it with guns. You could be actually doing it with arrows. You can actually playing a sport, right? You can actually playing tennis with Rafa, right? Or you can actually be doing bowling with you can bowl to a Tendulkar. I mean, obviously he's retired, but you can still bowl to him, and so on and so forth. So look at the gaming itself has gone through the roof when it came to the immersive experiences, right? It started with very simple arcade games. You used to have Mario, and used to pay like whatever 10 paisa at that time, 20 paisa, 50 paisa, right? At my young age, and now it's grown. It's in a different league altogether, and it is growing by the day. So very immersive experience, right? If you look at just from I'm being from a financial world, right? That's what excites me. If you look at the arcade games, right, the 1970s, 80s, obviously you don't know about them. It's antique for you. But while you were, getting born, there were like some games coming in. Early 2000, the Angry Bird came, was a craze, right, and so on and so forth. And now it's growing and growing and growing. $165 billion worth of gaming revenue, right? It's no small joke. It's like it's more than the GDP of at least 200 countries or 150 countries, right? So look at how it has grown and how it has gone big, both from a mobile perspective, which is what you see in the red area right here, and that's kind of improved. Obviously, the 7 layers are helping push that conversation up. Pandemic, obviously, you really can't go out and play tennis, right? You might as well play with Rafa, right? Or play it with the Djokovic, right? And I want to play football with Maradona and all that, right? So again, given the fact that the physical movement got restricted, the virtual movement just burst out, right? It went out and out, and some dynamic, it's growing. And pandemic, because everyone is at home, it's connected, it's kind of, there's a direct impact to these numbers. And how does it work, right? If you look at, remember, I talked about emphasis on activity, right? So it's about content, right? It's continuous engagement. Some message, somebody got shot, somebody found a new gun, and this constant content train. Then it kind of connects into a community engagement, live events, and then it gets monetized, right? And then obviously the money is made out of it. Different mechanisms which are utilized to make money for from a gaming perspective. But at the end of the day, the more attention, attention is now the currency. The more time you spend on certain things, the more revenue you will generate. It's very simple. Many ways to monetize, right? You can do, obviously, simple ones are easy. You can do advertisements, subscriptions, right? You can buy virtual items. I can buy a newer gun for my battle or PUBG game. I can actually do some franchise loyalty. I can buy some, I can be skilled also. That's also a mechanism, right? I can buy certain skills and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of ways that were added. These were not there before. These economies never existed. Yeah. And then it is now getting immersive, which means it's easier to sell. Okay. I'm just going to quickly run through the revenue share. So, obviously, the trick here, and a lot of you will work in this gamification world, right? It's no longer about badges. Previously, we used to get different badges, right? It's all about storytelling, immersion, progression, socialization. Right? Very important. These three words. It is immersive. There's a story that it continuously tells and enhances and enhances and enhances, and you progress, and then obviously you socialize. It's not an individual game anymore. Okay, a lot about games, right? We're gonna quick time check. All right. Real estate. This is another one that you should look at, right? Matterport. Matterport is a company that creates a VR, virtual reality model of your office or of the places that you want to sell. It's a real estate company that you can, get the virtual reality in. Interestingly, there are few things that you can do here. You can obviously navigate, right? You can go from one room to another as if you're walking. You can actually point at the wall and say, oh, by the way, put a new painting here. Oh, change the color of my sofa, right? Does it actually go and physically change the color of the sofa? No. But if you are walking into a real estate, into, let's say, a room, an office space, and you want to say, hey, this color is not looking nice, then maybe change it. You have to write it somewhere, put a post. Here you don't need to. Completely immersive. You are there and you're not there. You can check, oh, has the electricity updates been done? So you can actually start going very much immersive, and then you can start taking out things, remove the black sofa, put the lounge chair, and see how it feels. You actually see how it feels because you are in that immersive experience world, right? Travel, we spoke about travel. Matterport again, through virtual reality, you can go there. You can see what's happening. You can point. This is an actual replica. What your eyes are seeing, if you be there physically, you will see here. Now, this is all about visual impacts, right? Currently, it's visual, but there is research which is adding on to it, which will give you the other senses also. You can actually do a feel. You should be able to smell. So it will produce the right amount of the air mixture, as if you feel you are in Egypt. Yeah. Currently, it is visual and audible in nature. You will see the same sounds which are currently there in that website, in that actual heritage site. But there is a lot of things which are happening to. You can actually do a food tasting. So you will taste something which actually will give you your senses that the taste exactly what you see in the other side, right? So again, that's the kind of currently we have audio and visual, but it's increasing by the day. Architecture and design, obviously NVIDIA Omniverse, you can do a lot of simulate a lot of different things, right? Fluids, traffic, designers, many things you can do, and you can collaborate and design. This is important for design students, architecture students to kind of collaborate, come together, make designs, check design. Automotive, fairly straightforward, right? Design collaboration, what's new, what's happening. Simulation, simulation both of autonomous vehicles, simulation of design, simulation of impacts, and sales, right? So currently I have to go and look at the car. Now, if I can actually see the inside of the car as if I'm sitting inside it, won't that be an experience to do, right? I don't have to go anywhere. So effectively, what will happen is that you will start getting more and more immersive experience as you kind of as we kind of increase the creativity to these specific areas. Learning is straightforward, immersive learning techniques, classroom simulation, travel, right? You can travel as a class to different locations. So if I mix travel from here to the travel that I spoke about in the other side for Matterport, I can actually take my students to the newer site every day, give them, it also gets access, right? You can get access to a lot of tutors from anywhere, right? You can actually learn French from France, you can learn, Chinese cooking from chefs in China, and so on and so forth. And it is, again, activity based, right? That's what Waldorf says, right? It has to be, if you do it, you will remember it. And you can deliver and you can enhance your skills. So it's no longer reading from a book. It's all about testing it, checking it, seeing it, believing it, being immersive in it. Yeah. Okay. Fitness, again, fairly straightforward from an experience standpoint. I forgot the name of that company which actually had those handheld devices. I used to have one. That was a gaming company which actually it allowed me to play tennis. It allowed me to play. It was a fitness sport, but you can actually get trainers along with you. So if you were to be wearing that and being in the gym, you can actually have a fitness trainer with you who can measure whether you're doing it properly, your posturing is right, your heartbeat's correct. Are you actually doing it, or just doing it? So supernatural VR, gamified fitness, and so on and so forth. You can actually learn kickboxing sitting at home. So again, see, what I'm trying to share is how things are moving, right? So you are ready and you are now contributing to this specific conversation, right? You're adding to it. Okay. Obviously, not only this, you all know that PUBG has an international event now, spectacle events. You can join live events. There's live music. Now there's digital music, digital art. You wouldn't believe one of the digital arts sold for $34 million, right? Digital art, right? It's not somebody, a Picasso painting it, right? Somebody creating a digital art actually selling for millions of dollars, and so on and so forth, right? You can see, right, how things are taking the next natural progression towards immersive experiences. Music is given. We saw that during the pandemic times, right? We had a lot of live music events which we didn't go to, but were able to see how it works and still being part of it, right? As if we are there. Okay. There are many, right? Okay. Okay. So basically, what we are saying is, if you look at your current physical space, right? You have, you live in a physical space, but we dematerialize it, which means we make it virtual. So we have limited things when we are in the physical world, isn't it? You have, let's say you live in, 3-bedroom apartment, that's the one you have. But suddenly when you dematerialize it and you put it to the virtual world, it's no longer restricted to only that much. Then you have the other side of the problem, which is of abundance. It means you have way too many things to go to, way too many options to work with. And that's the experience of abundance. So it's, as Peter Diamandis said very nicely, it's not about, abundance is not about, providing everyone with life of luxury. That's not what abundance is. It's about providing all with life of possibilities. And those possibilities are immense. They are way too many. And you yourself, all the students which are currently here, are part, and obviously you have the option, the opportunity to add to this abundance. Yeah. Okay, so I think we kind of spent a lot of time on what, right? I'm not going to spend too much time on why. So obviously, two specific parameters that you can look at. So one is more socially geared, right? What is happening, and then what's happening from a technology standpoint. So virtual mainstreaming, those kind of trends are driving open platforms, which means people are giving you software to build on top of their software. And walled ecosystem is typically, you do have access to ecosystems to build stuff, but within certain boundaries. And obviously there is On the technology side, the blockchain is, really paving the way right now. Virtual reality, accelerated distributed networks, the 5Gs, the 6Gs, low-code platforms, machine. I mean, look, it's important to say there are a lot of mega trends which are actually driving this metaverse. And yeah, I don't know, right? Another 6 months, it could be another one that comes here. But this is what we see right now. The one in the middle is very interesting. This cybernetics. Has anyone heard of cybernetics? It was there in actually a very famous movie.
Yeah. Guided rocketry concept.
Yeah, so it's robotics.
Robotics.
Right? It's the next generation of robotics. Where did we see this?
I read it, in this Max Small's book, Cybernetics. I got across the concept there.
Sure. Has anyone heard of Terminator?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember Terminator? Cybernetics, cyberkinetics. You had, you had human skin running over in a metal exoskeleton and so on and so forth, right? If you just understand, right, there is a lot of value that it brings to the medical world, right? For people who've been hurt, people who've been disabled. So a lot of research is happening in this area as well. So again, just sharing how things can be utilized. People who sometimes visualize may not necessarily be the ones that bring it to life, but unless they visualize, no one will bring it to life. Yeah. All right. It's again, this is fairly straightforward. Your virtual identities will become important and valuable as you go on, right? And COVID-19 is accelerating that. There's working from home is driving this, right? And you can see how much work is happening in this area. Obviously, certain your age groups, you spend more time talking to your friends online than you would offline. And this is actually proven with data, right? So we had to transition it. You were born with it, so that's why you call you millennials or digital natives, which effectively say that you never learned how to use a mobile phone. You already knew. Yeah. Okay, we talked about the identity as being very valuable, right? So Eric Schmidt said that as well. But beware, right? I don't, obviously I've shared a lot of positive. Obviously, it's a very sharp knife. You can make good recipes out of it, but you can also cut your finger. So be wary, right? Of bullying, cheating, fraud, cyber fraud, right? There's plethora of people who actually do this work as a living, right? So just be careful, and you have to be aware, right? Like in the physical world, this is such a beautiful world, but when you go out, you make sure your wallet is in your pocket. You can make sure that nothing funny is around, right? And if you see something which kind of ticks you off your instinct, then you don't go that near that place, or you have the right numbers to call and people to go with. So it's exactly the same. It's just that there is abundance, which means there are abundance of people who do this. We have to be even more careful. Okay. All right. Low code platforms, you should be able to build very, very quickly. According to Gartner, low code and serverless platforms are going to disrupt a lot of these things. Why? Because the time it takes to build things have to come down. The reason it has to come down is because we don't know whether it works or not. No one knows. So unless you put 10 things in front of everyone, you don't know what they will like and what will actually take. You see the current trends, right? Things go viral. Some of the things which go viral are completely absurd. You don't know why they went viral, but they do. So you need abilities to build experiences very, very fast. And if they don't work, they don't work. You learn from it, you build another one, right? So that's why low code or no code platforms are kind of pushing some of this work together and moving it faster. Obviously, AI is going and going. It's like growing like amazing pace. Okay, so AI has become very, very important. Deep learning, language, virtual beings. You're talking to a lot of, the Alexas of the world, the Cs of the world. They're all AI, right? Machine intelligent words. So it's going to grow as we kind of look at. Blockchain, right? Remember we talked about decentralization as being one of the core pillars. Blockchain by definition is decentralized, right? So you can see, right, Ethereum, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it is, the many, right? But this concept of leaving something on the table and decentralized, so not one person holding all the keys will become prominent. That's the social trends that we are seeing right now. Okay, smart contracts, a lot of use cases, records, titles, insurance, your identities. I buy a car, I can actually sell it online, and so on and so forth, right? So there are many mechanisms and value of smart contracts, right? Especially around ownership. NFTs, non-fungible tokens. It is a specific application of smart contracts. NFTs is a way of saying that this is how the ownership is driven. So real estate, art, music, gaming, specifically in the digital world. If I create a digital art, I can actually put an NFT, a non-fungible token to it, and then anyone who owns it owns that art, and it is provable and in the court of law. And basically, that's where it is getting to. Okay, obviously this is an important. Remember, in the 7 layers we talked about, one of them was actually 5G, 6G networks which are coming in, computation on tap, sharing, so on and so forth. So this is actually accelerating the fact that we are able to have these experiences, build these experiences, share these experiences, right? So very important. Okay, I have, this is very important for all of you to understand. So Metaverse is not a universe, right? It's not one thing. It's a collection of different mechanisms of experiences. And it's led by abundant generation of creators, many people who continuously work towards enhancing it, building it, different experiences for you to use, come and actually experience, and then that experience, whether you want to have it or not, is a choice given to you. It's no longer driven by scarcity, it's all driven by your choices. I think that's where Metaverse is headed. All right, I'm going to stop talking and take a few questions. Madhulika?
Yeah, so let's move on to the question and answer session. So audience, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself and ask them.
Sir, what all we can see in the virtual reality beyond our computers in right now current situation?
I don't have a list, Nishant, for you. As simple as that. My suggestion is if you go towards pick up the area you want to get to. If you want to get to an activity, let's say called gaming, then obviously there are a host of things that you can do. You like traveling, then there are a host of things that you can do. You can go to different places. You can, if you feel like creating with people which you don't know, right? And you want to do jamming with them. For example, you want to create music or art, right? There are different places that you go, as it is in the physical world, right? If you want to, eat something or you want to watch a movie, you don't go to a shop, right? You go to a movie theater. So there are way too many websites. What I showed you was 135 companies which are working on it. Each of them has multitudes of solutions. So, go on to the internet, you'll find many mechanisms of getting into it. Yeah. A few things.
Sir, Sukrut has asked a question. He has written in the chat box.
Can be used in research to create, and that maybe it makes they're possible. Why not? Absolutely, right? You can actually See, again, it will be dependent on how close you get to that planet. If NASA is ready to share the photos that they have of Jupiter, then why not? Absolutely. See, that's what we are saying. It is, you're right. It can actually go and build you experiences that will not be possible otherwise. Is it possible to feel touches, smell as well? Well, there is research going on. Definitely, I can tell you about smell. It's a combination. See, like you have 3D printers, there are specialized printers which are actually going to type and print out a combination for you that you can actually smell. Yeah, because remember, at the end of the day, smell is a mechanism of your nasal cavity to understand certain senses. If that can be replicated through whatever mechanism, right, it is possible. Will it happen today? I don't know. Is the research going on? Absolutely. Metaverse seems to be limitless. Is this true? Yeah, that's true. It's limitless. In fact, our universe is also limitless, right? I mean, it's just how far we can see. Correct or not? If you were to go with the speed of your thought, you can actually be in Jupiter now and back in 2 seconds, isn't it? So absolutely, as I said, it is bound by our creativity as a humankind. Okay, I don't see. Okay. Any other question? Madhurika, I don't see any further question.
Sir, what do you think would be the side effects of metaverse on our generation or anybody's mental health?
Half of you will go crazy. I mean, no. See, it's very simple. Okay, everything has its side effects, right? Which means if you are not deeply, if you are not in control of what you want, right, you will get adrift. And that's true not just for metaverse or any internet. And we can see this, right, currently with addictions. Gaming addictions are considered more than smoking or drug abuse. Yeah, there are centers in India and abroad where you get de-addicted from games. So yes, if you go into that world where there's abundance, it's not easy to take abundance, right? If I can only digest 4 chapatis in a meal, and I get a buffet, then obviously everyone overeats. There's no one who doesn't, right? But the problem is that if you do it every day, then it will impact your health. So yes, there's a lot of that is why, while both while even in the current physical world, we ask you to meditate, right? Ask you to control yourself, right? Why do we do that? It's not very difficult to get drifted in this current physical world. So it's true with metaverse.
Sir, Ashish Bansal has asked a question. So I'll read it out. Is it possible to feel touch, smell as well?
I think I already answered that, right? So the research is going on, and it should be, as I said, right? It is a mechanism of what your nasal sensors actually perceive, and if you are able to replicate it on a piece of paper, then why not?
Any more questions?
Vishal, I would like to ask, since there are a lot of students and they are also going through their learning process, where and how we can get more information about metaverse, it can be like a part of academics and something like that.
It should be actually. It should be an elective subject. But knowing about is one thing, Raghav. Contributing to it is another thing.
Yeah.
So while you can have a basic, you can have like a module on metaverse, you can have a module on blockchain. You need specialist skills to be able to be creator on that area. Yeah. So if somebody is interested, somebody has a liking towards doing that work, but I think a lot of students are the design students, right?
Yes.
For them, it is very important to understand if they are able to do 3D designing. Because now with 3D printers, it's quite possible to build a lot of great things, right? Whether it's for utility, and it's about how you help on, either save time, save money, give something important to the society, right? Absolutely. So information should be known to everyone, but it's important to understand that if you want to be a creator, then you need specialized skills for it.
Yes, right. Agree.
Okay. Does holographic effect include within the content of Metaverse? Yeah, I mean, virtual reality is the hologram other way around. See, hologram is nothing but something which is projected out into the physical world. Correct? You project something and it looks like somebody's dancing. Virtual reality is the other way around, wherein you go inside the virtual part of it and you feel it's a 3D design. So hologram is not interconnected, virtual reality is, by definition.
Okay, so if there are no more questions, we would
I want-
really, yes, Nishant, yes.
Sir, is there any technological aspect behind this virtual reality? Are there any rays which are going in this world? Any ray which cannot be seen from our eyes?
Sorry, I get the first part. I don't get the second part.
Okay. So is there any
Technological light
rays?
rays behind us?
Light rays.
Yeah. See, this is obviously, in the movie world, it is more projected like that, right? But effectively, it's a combination of different technologies that actually, well, overpower is not the right word, but kind of enhance your senses to give you an experience. So if you are wearing, let's say, an occult spec, right? So suddenly what you are seeing is not what is there physically, but something that is projected to your eyes coming from a virtual world. Yeah, so there's no rays per se.
Right. Great, Vishal. This was really an eye-opening session from your side, because since we have both design and engineering students here, and I think both of them will be benefited. At Avantika, we focus a lot of about the influence of design through experiences, and I think Metaverse is one of the platform which will let us work in both immersion and experience. So a great insight, Vishal, as you have been an like our regular visiting faculty. I would not say speaker. And I would thanks, and I can invite Madhulika to conclude this session.
As we are near the end of this session, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking out your valuable time and sharing these thoughts with us. Your valuable insights will surely help us in our journey. We wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thanks for having me there. Really nice interactive session, and hope to see you soon.